Tier 5 trash, which let's just get this out of the way.
I'm gonna try Bloom teams
No,
with
kidding.
Barbara again.
No, there's no one to trash to.
Hyper Bloom to be
Okay.
precise.
I had to. I couldn't resist. Okay, but without further ado, let's get started. Actually, there's one more thing I do need to cover. We only have 2 sprites for the Travelers, and there are 4 elements, Anemo, Geo, Electro, and Dendro. For the sake of this tier list, I'm only going to focus on Electro and Dendro because of the 4, those 2 are the highest ranking. I guess we can leave our opinions on the other 2 elements somewhere in the description if we want to. Let's get started. First off, we're gonna go with, I think there's gonna be Electro Traveler. So for him, I'm going to put him into tier 3. Passable requires heavy investment. He is a really solid battery in terms of electro comps and generates quite well. But we have such a plethora of electro characters as it is that I don't really see a particular reason why you would want to use EMC unless you're specifically going for a high self-sustaining comp. But then Raiden National kind of does that on its own. Then again, not everyone has Shogun. You get the idea.
Geo Traveler's so good though, why did you ignore her?
In tier 2. Good but situational and Angel lacking tier 0 team. They are, or rather, I guess in this context, Illumi, who is a Dendro Traveler, is quite effective and obviously the strongest among the Traveler elements so far. That could be subject to change when we get Hydro or Pyro or Cryo.
Stay close.
However,
And you
at the
will
moment,
live.
it's rather decently impressive showing. Certainly you get your money's worth, even though you don't have to spend your money on anything. Albedo would also be in tier 2. He has a pretty solid elemental burst that increases your elemental mastery or elemental damage, and overall, I think quite a few people sleep on him. At the same time, it's not like he really has a good comparable spot at the moment. He can work in non-geo comps as well, but the deck is heavily stacked against him. Amber is tier 4, bad, and currently does fit into any decent team. Then we have Ayaka, who's very effective. Now, I know I said that she was one of the top 10 best characters in Genshin,
application,
and
it seems.
looking back, maybe that might have been a bit too exaggerated. I think main DPS characters are not really... There really aren't any main DPS characters who should be tier 0 because, in general, sub-DPS kind of beat them out completely. But yeah, I'll just put her in tier 1. She's still a fantastic character, and will always be, in my opinion. On the subject of that, actually, I'm going to put Ganyu here as well. Where is she? So she's also going to be there. Next up, we have Barbara, tier 3. She used to be, I would say, tier 4, just because there were so many better Hydro units to go for, but ever since Nilo Bloom came into play, Barbara has found a niche. I still think that she requires a little bit of work to actually get going, and so therefore I'll put her in tier 3. Beidou. I'm going to say tier 2 as well. She was in my one of my underrated characters for my underrated characters video, but I think that's just because a lot of people kind of stopped using her. I did say that she was good, it's just that people sort of leaned off of her.
Let's make haste.
That kind of is a mistake, but at the same time, because she's almost exclusively meant for AoE or for wave clearing, she can't really be a tier 1 character, because as you can see, tier 2 is situational. So I'll put her here. Bennett is going to be our first tier 0. He has fallen off somewhat due to a lot of stronger team compositions or a lot of the newer ones not really necessitating him, but I still think that in a general sense, you really do need to have Bennett on deck. Just because he's really cheap to work on, he requires almost no investment, and he's super efficient relative to the cost. So he still deserves the tier 0 status. Up next, you have Chongyu, who's going to be in tier 3. He has makings of a really solid burst-oriented Cryo DPS, but he is a 4-star, and 4-stars have a lower stat line. Not to mention, Cryo isn't the most offensive element in the game. You could make it work, but reverse melt isn't as strong as 4. D-Luke is also going to be in tier 3. He's my boy, but based on what I said in my Why No Plays D-Luke video, he really hasn't stood the test of time all too well. Still usable, yeah, but you do have to put in a lot of work on him. My D-Luke is C6, so maybe that might make him a bit more usable, but even then, I find him doing far less damage than Hu Tao or Yoimiya. Diona, tier 2. Pretty good, she has the Elemental Mastery buff on one of her constellations. She can heal and shield. Overall solid, but if you're going for a more offense-oriented cryo comp, then there are better options out there. Next, we have Official, Tier 0. She's another member of, I guess, the Power 5, which are a group of 4-star characters who are surprisingly extremely effective despite coming out in day 1. She's gotten significantly buffed with the advent of Dendro because she's fantastic for both Quicken and Bloom teams, and of course, she has her original Taser combo. Any situation where you need Electro, she's impeccable. Such rapid Electro application that is unchallenged basically, so if you haven't worked on her, you definitely should. Hu Tao, same argument as I kinda get you, where she's fantastic and pretty much will always be until a stronger version of her comes out. However, she is a main DPS, and that means that she has more limited comps compared to other characters or sub DPSs who can fit into more comps. Jean will be in Tier 2. She's pretty situational and she's rather good. I've had some people argue that she's like more of a Tier 3 character, and I actually couldn't really decide with my friends. I was talking to a few of the Christian games, and we were like, Tier 2, Tier 3, it's like kind of hard to get a read on her, but I would say she's definitely one of the more underrated characters out there, so I'll put her in Tier 2. On the subject of underrated, Kaya, he is not half bad. It's hard to really get him going, because like, if you put him in Tier 3,
why does she only have 3
gilded? He does
gilded?
require heavy investment. His constellations are nice to have, but those constellations are difficult to acquire. But I still think that putting him in Tier 3 doesn't work, because he does have quite a few use cases. It's just that none of them are really Tier 0. Kuting, Tier 2? She's like in the midway point between Diluc and Hu Tao, even though she's an electric
I
character.
see.
She has kind of good use case in terms of Quicken and Aggravate, but there are better versions of Aggravate out there. She's still good, but again, we're talking like B student versus A student kind of thing. Cleave, Tier 3. This might be premature. I've heard a lot of instances where Cleave's actually, she does quite substantial damage, but I feel like a lot of those cases might be a bit too hyper-specific and like somewhat impractical. I've actually had someone who say that she should be Tier 4, but no, that's not true at all. Cleave, she does have the damage. She has plenty of damage. It's just that you don't need to really grasp at straws to make her work. Possibility is still there. Speaking of which, Lisa is another Tier 3 character. One of those. There are use cases for her, especially with the help of Dendro, but there are better options out there. Electra right now has become pretty saturated just because I think as of the moment it is the most populated roster, or it's the biggest roster among the 7 elements. Mona, put her in Tier 2. She still is somewhat the reigning queen of, vaporize, one-shot, boom, big number kind of damage, but I don't think she really has been used a whole lot, just because she's been overshadowed by Shintoya and Kambo. I still think that she's one of those characters where she definitely has a pretty awkward playstyle, and not too many people are fond of that. They would rather just go for a more straightforward, linear kind of approach to reactions, but if you do get her going, she's still as effective as she used to be. Yingguang is Tier 3. For the simple reason that Geo sucks as a DPS element unless you go Mono Geo, but if you go Mono Geo, then you have this guy right here, or even... No, really, it's just this guy. It would be nice though, because she has a really awesome kit and playstyle and has situationally useful tools. It's just that, again, there are no use cases for her, or there's no reason to use her. On the subject of Geo DPS, I'll put Noelle here. How do I say this? Jack of all trades, master of none. That's really what it boils down to. I think that she could definitely shine in.
I want to try.
Time to broaden the horizons again.
Nahida. Oh well, I don't mind anyway.
But right now, she's useful. You can get a certain amount of attack on her. But again, that comes with the clause of requiring investment. Next up is Qiqi, who's going to be another Tier 4 character. I'm sorry, Qiqi means, but she really got handed the short straw. Because even in terms of healing, despite having fantastic regeneration, there are so many healers who do her job better, and it really sucks because I remember Qiqi used to carry me through all of the Hydro Abyss mages at the start of the game, and ever since then I kind of stopped using her. I would say though, like, if hypothetically we were to give her energy charge on, or if she can generate energy, she still wouldn't be that great. She'd be like a Tier 3 character. For the time being, Tier 4, not really too many cases to use her. Next is Razor. Razor is
I don't have enough.
A character that I think only circumstantially is viable. Although then again, thanks to the advent of Quicken and Aggravate, he still has a physical damage use case, but I think I've seen a few racer players who go more for Electro because of the effectiveness.
I can go
of that
Wanderer's
ability. You really
Troop,
can't
maybe.
put it any further down than this. He does have, I don't know, it's such an awkward placement for him, since like some players say that he's just complete garbage now and irrelevant, and others who say he's criminally slept on. I'm a bit ambivalent to that. I think he's somewhat in the middle, so therefore I'll put him in tier 3. Sucrose, another member of the Power 5. Oh my god, she's broken. Especially relative to what it takes to get her there. Yes, Elemental Mastery is tedious to work on, but oh my goodness, Sucrose Taser and Sucrose just crowd control and everything. She's so freaking good. Yes, if you have Kazuma and Venti, then maybe the number of reasons you would want to use her are lower, but even that Sucrose is just so effective at what she does, and what she does covers a lot of bases that you can't really call her situational. She's pretty good in terms of coverage. Mr. Tartagos, I blame Kumax for getting me on that nickname. Now I can never not call him Tartagos. No, but seriously. Child, tier 1, same reasons as all the other main DPSs. He's fantastic where he needs to be, but he is a main DPS, so he's a bit more restricted in where you can use him. On the subject of situational, actually, I would say, okay, here's the issue. Venti, by all accounts, should be a tier 0 character, if not tier 1. But he's got the beta flaws where, how do I say this? For mobs that can't be picked up by his Typhoon, and even then, mobs that can't be like, you always say that a floor is a Venti floor in Spireless, or Chamber is a Venti chamber. As long as he still is the reigning king of crowd control. But if you're fighting a single target, or if you're fighting heavy enemies exclusively, he's pretty much worthless. No, well, that's not true. He still does a lot of damage, but you get what I mean. So it's like,
I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister.
Why he's so good that like, I mean I put it here. I have like the previous screenshot of where I put all my characters, but I think yeah, we'll put it here. I should also clarify something. I probably should have clarified this at the start. In fact, what I'm gonna do is, chances are in post production, this segment was already added to the start of the video, but I'm going to clear up that this doesn't necessarily mean on like a linear scale, right? There's maybe some people who say, I can't believe he put Venti in the same tier as, Kaya. It's a spectrum, right? All these characters are evenly matched, all these characters are evenly matched, all these characters are evenly matched. It's a spectrum. So some characters might be obviously a tier above other members in that group.
What the heck is Cole having a buff?
Justify putting them in,
it's probably from her weapon.
All-around good character or broken, that's where you kind of have to draw the line. So, in case anyone's wondering, like, why the hell did I put D-Luke in the same tier as, Ningguang when that's not true? I can't make 50 million tiers. People will have to split hairs all over the comment section if that's what it takes, but if I were to make a sub-tier of everything, like, S plus S, S minus, A plus, A minus, stuff like that, it'd be far too tedious. So, going forward, if you're still watching this video, and also again, I'll have my editor put a segment at the beginning to clear that up, just so that we don't get the idea of like, oh, how can this character be the same to a second? Moving on, another member of
Shine down!
5, Sending, sub DPS version of basically all the pirate characters.
Holy virgin.
Is the meme of like, oh, she's indirectly.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
I did talk to the cartoonists and asked them, like, some of them disagree.
I forgot to switch right, and that's what I was forgetting. Hold on.
I did talk to the cartoonists and I asked them, like, some of them disagreed with the Power 5. They believe that, like, Shining and Bennett would be in tier 1, and, like, the only person who should be, like, in tier 0. They were a bit more stringent on who should be tier 0, and I understand that because when you say tier 0, you think it's, like, obligatory, right? That you need to have these characters, or they're the best in everything. When it comes to, like, Shining and Bennett specifically, they're mostly just damage or damage amplification for Bennett. Even so, I still think that they deserve to be they deserve to be up there. Xiao. Xiao should be in tier, probably tier 3. He is really good. If you're willing to put all the Benjamins on this guy, you need a lot of stuff on him. Animo DPS in general is just not too practical at the moment. It could get better in the future, but your dissection of it, but Wander here as well. I know in the past I said that Wander is better than Xiao, but after being corrected, thank you by the way for the feedback for people who say, or for people who point out things that have been corrected. I try my best to be as factually accurate as possible, but again, there are nuances in opinion. Wander and Xiao, I think, are kind of neck and neck in terms of overall damage. If not, Xiao's actually a little bit better, but I think Wander's playstyle amounts to, I think, slightly more accessibility. Again, it really comes down to like what your preference is, but I still think that both of them do require a pretty heavy investment. Xingqiu, by the way, will be the final member of the Power 5. I would say Xingqiu is probably the best 4-star. Next is Xingyan. She is going to be in tier 4. Apologies again. I know Xingyan mains are going to kill me, but in reality, she really doesn't fit into any decent team. Zhongli, he is going to be in, I would say, tier 2. I was thinking about tier 1 because he's a very good general coverage, like he fits in any team, but you're taking a massive DPS cut if you do so. And you know, there are certain instances where he isn't really that worth it. You're better off just fielding an extra sub DPS or someone who could facilitate reactions a bit more effectively. Rosaria is kind of homogeneous, or is it homogeneous? Is that the right word? Is it homogeneous? Or she has a similar kind of premise to Kaya, and so therefore I'm putting these two together. Although, in the words of Zajev, I'm sorry to quote you on this, buddy, Kaya's Rosaria if Rosaria didn't suck. That's... I mean, I've heard a lot of debates between these two. It's like, who's the better one? But I'll just stay away from that. I do agree, though, that these two are kind of on the same level playing field, give or take. And they do have their uses, it's just that there's so much focus on the 5-star fire characters that people don't really give these two enough attention. Yanfei, she would be in... Let's say tier 3. She should be tier 2. I feel like she has a lot of potential, but she does require a pretty serious amount of investment because she's an
she's just playing healer.
Eula, I'll put her here as well.
I mean, EM is still good for her, even if she is healing.
It's still rather good.
She does scale on EM still, and there's still no HP weapons, at least no 4-star ones.
It just doesn't work too well.
That I have.
Tier 0, no explanation necessary, is a true animal archon.
There is no escape! Let's dance!
She's pretty strong, but
everyone hold hands!
Wow, just walking around puts so much pressure with Barbara.
She does well, but not we're talking about situations. Sayu. I think she's a tier 4 character necessarily.
Shine down!
Shogun is tier 0. Sarah is tier 3. Okay, this is an interesting thing because Sada is, oh my god, I've had so many people talk about how Sada is like, you know, the most destructive force of destiny in terms of like Raiden hyper carry, and then I've had some who say she's complete ass. She does have a use, so therefore she can't be a tier 4 character, but even in the team that you would want to use her in, there are just better options out there. That's not to say you can't use her, and she can be quite
effective. How long is Barbara's downtime with her skill
though? Buffing the electro carry, but kind of hard to justify a reason to use her.
10 seconds. Wow.
Who I will put in very effective. Now I know she is one
having
of the
an
best
ammo to swirl
in the game,
would be
but
nice.
I will say that is she a must-have? Not necessarily. She's one of those characters who's like she's a labor of luxury, or she's like an item of luxury where everyone wants her, who can have her, but is she as obligatory to have? I don't know, it's debatable. She has so many bases covered for Hydro, and yet at the same time, at least empirically, for me, based on personal experience or anecdote, I find myself always defaulting to either like Xingqiu, Yelan, or both of them, and I only use Kokomi for like exclusively if I can't use the other two, or if I'm already using the other two. Let's say like one party I have double Hydro, then I'll use Kokomi as my last choice. Some people would say that doesn't make it, like that doesn't excuse her from being tier 0. She should still be in tier 0. But I think for the sake of trying my best to be as consistent with my rationale, I think I'll probably keep her in tier 1. She's very effective, right? Like, you know, if you ever need cryo DPS, you have Ayaka. If you ever need pyro DPS, you have Fu Tao. But I think she's not really like super ultra broken because there's someone who does everything she does that trades healing for a bit more damage. Actually, there's two people who do that. Aloy, tier 4, moving on. Toma, the definition of requires heavy investment. He has uses, but my god, you have to put in a lot of work for this guy. Ito, tier 2, is good. If you really buff him up a lot, I know he's not one of those heavy investment characters, but he is worth the credit.
Illusion shattered!
He has a lot of potential, it's just that Gio is a shit young.
Sharing knowledge!
These two are 2Ds in the bottom. Shinko, another tier 2
Shine down!
Situational
Inazuma shines eternal!
She buffs fire damage to heaven and back, but otherwise, you never want to use her techniques. So YouTube, where she's a fantastic stellar with auto attackers and
Let the show begin! Ready, steady, go!
Nicole is tier 1. She got pretty heavily indirectly buffed with Dendro, and that's why I'm putting her here. She would be tier 2 otherwise. Ayato. Yeah, tier 1. Fantastic Hydro character, and you can kind of slice between Tartagos and Ayato depending on which playstyle you adhere to more. Pretty much it. Yelan is a tier 0 character. I previously thought, I put her in tier 1, but looking back, I think, no, she's basically just as effective as Jingchul. Let's just pick your poison. Which one do you want? More general coverage or aggression? Although
Let me see
I guess,
if I can...
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about this. Constellations, right? Constellations. Ooh, I should have covered this at the beginning. Oh my goodness. What am I gonna do? What if I do for constellations? Because most people they default to C6 for 4 stars and C0 for 5 stars, but that complicates things. See, this is the problem with tier lists for Genshin. Even though I'm doing a tier list for Genshin, it's just there are so many what ifs or so many different things that you have to take into consideration that you can't form a concrete conclusion on a character's rating because there are so many circumstances and factors you have to take into consideration. And even then you can't. But whatever, we're this far in, might as well see it through. Shinobu is tier 1. Got super buffed thanks to Dendro and
I guess I need to level up
she still
stuff.
has use cases for stuff like Taser. And overall, pretty fantastic character. Hazel will be down in tier 3. He can do
Sucks,
big
but what
punch
can you do?
damage, but you do need to work on it quite a bit. Tighnari will be, I think, tier 2. He's pretty slumped on.
I can't stay on the freaking artifact grind forever.
Illusion shattered!
Tighnari can be useful, and he does a lot of damage when leading to situation. Kale, tier 3. You gotta put in more work.
Oh, oops, I forgot about this place.
Tighnari. And I did sort of draw I drew a parallel between her and Dendro Traveler, but Dendro Traveler is just a little bit better. Dori. Oops. Dori's here. This might not be very good to say, but I've never used her, nor have I ever seen her. But that also might be kind of indicative of something. If you never see her being used, or if you never use her herself, it's like, then she's probably not the best character. Although I don't think she's a tier 4 character, I forget what Dori does actually. I think she's an electro healer, I don't remember. No, she is an electro healer. No, she's not an electro healer, oh my god. Alright, but in this case, for Dori, I couldn't really want, or I don't really know.
There is no escape!
I don't think she's
I see everything!
Not many people talk about how bad she is, it's just that
I'll
she's
protect her!
tier 1. She really should be tier 0 because the one comp that she's in is like tier 0, but we'll just put her tier 1, otherwise this doesn't really match description too much. She's very situational. Sino, I'm gonna say tier 2. He's similar to Kotin, where you need to use him, he would be pretty good, but not the best choice. There are better options. Candace, probably tier 3. A lot of missed potential. I know a lot of people were excited about the Hydro view, but by that logic, why would you ever go for Hydro view when you can just do regular Hydro? And again, Hydro's a hyperstack roster. She has to contend with 3 characters that definitively are some of the best in the game. Nahida, obvious tier 0 character. She's broken beyond recognition. I don't think we need to explain why this character. I will make a why everyone plays on her very soon, even though she just came out. Layla will be down here too. I've talked to some people about Layla, especially when I was asking, like, who do you think is a really underrated character? But if I were to say, like, she's one of those characters, kind of like many people in tier 3, where you can't put them in tier 4. You also can't put them in tier 2 either, because, right, like, if you look at this group of characters and this group of characters, it is definitely in a different league. I know I said it's a spectrum, but even so, it's like I can't find myself using Layla over like Shinko, Ayaka, Ganyu, or stuff like that. That's an issue with 4-star characters, especially if they have a 5-star counterpart that does the same job.
I fucking hate this kid.
Power 5 levels of broken to be competitive, but that might be subject to change. Definitely, it might be a Shimako situation where she could get indirectly buffed if something happens that necessitates her. Farusa, tier 2. She definitely fits the bill of requires heavy investment. I've heard it's like you basically need C6 on her. However, she is definitely much more useful in the situations that you can use her for, and she's pretty much allowing for animal DPS to be viable, so she's pretty good. Yao Yao, I'll put her in tier 1. There's still a lot of discussion and kind of investigation about her, but she's a Dendro healer, and that is really good to have in Dendro, specifically because Bloom kills you, so I think she's definitely one of the better 4-stars we've had in a very long time. I'll hate them. Tier 1. He is pretty damn strong, not gonna lie. But he is a main DPS. And again, my argument of you can't put main DPS
Thank you for completing
because main DPS as a class are inherently limited by the fact that they have to occupy a lot of field time to be useful. However, there have been some people who said that maybe he should be tier 0 based on like Dendro being just so ridiculously broken and I'll hate them being really dang good. But I think for the sake of maintaining my reasoning, I'm kind of locking main DPSs up here. But I will say that he definitely has shown to be statistically stronger than Utao, Ayaka, Ganyu, like that kind of group of characters. But that's just probably because Dendro's really broken. Full disclosure, I'm recording this before 3.5 has officially been released. However, I did keep up with discussion and people talking about it on Twitter, Reddit, even in Discord about Dia and Mika. Dia is supposed to be a standard banner character, similar to Tignati. And I've also heard she's really bad. Like, some people said she's worse than Duke. I don't know what to say about that, but I will probably put her here, since is she tier 4? I don't know. When I was talking to the group of Kutsumes, they were like, yeah, she's tier 4. Oh no, it wasn't the Kutsumes who said she was tier 4. It was a different tier character I talked to. And I was looking at it, I'm like, really?
Shine down!
Because like, I personally don't know a lot about
Make yourselves at home!
I know that there's a special
Let's
program,
dance!
like that, but while with all the
Just like you
discussions,
heard.
especially from Wax about the Hellbright, what you have against
Commit it to memory.
Torn to oblivion.
There is no escape!
Yeah. Put her here for the sake of political correctness or to not trigger anyone, although maybe putting her here will trigger people.
Grow,
As
grow,
Mika, I'm going to say situational sense.
Illusion shattered.
The physical damage buff. Now physical damage sucks.
This way, Colonel. The Temple of
I have
Wisdom.
given the same treatment
Practice
as
on the side.
What the?
He is
Shine down.
Yeah, Pranasan for animal, Goro for Jiro, Shinko for fire, and for physical. Physical sucks, but we'll see how good that goes. We'll see how that happens in the future. Anyways,
There is no escape.
I need to really think about how I want to write out the intro because
Wow.
I need to clarify kind of the rules to this, like the spectrum in terms of like who's better than the other, or like this is not in order, by the way. This is not ordered. It's not like Mika is worse than Lumine, or like Lumine is the best tier 2 character. One way or another, someone's gonna get mad. A lot of people are gonna get mad at the placement, but I did commit to it. I said on my community post, I'm like, screw it, I want to do it just because. I feel like even amidst my hot takes and stuff like that, I don't think I'm too far off compared to most other people or the general consensus on where a character should be. But overall, I do think that I stand by my choices are here. There could be smaller adjustments made, right? Like I might think maybe I could put, say, I don't know, Xiao and Wander in tier 2. But again, there are so many different edge cases that if you were to factor them into the equation, would make this tier list impossible to formulate. And once again, this is opinionated, this is not objective, it's all in good fun. Hope you enjoyed though. If you have any agreements or disagreements on where you think I should put a character, or maybe like, if you think I
A
was
potentially
too
fun
generous on
overworld
rating
team I can
on
try
some
with
upper
Raiden and
characters, or too
a Curry team.
much on my rating for some of the lower ones, then feel free to share your argument in the comments down below. Let's try to be respectful about it, of course. Please don't send death threats, although I probably already got many of them. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BarsRam, join my Discord server, and check out my other Genshin Impact videos if you're new to the channel. Aside from that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one. Take care.
I can only really think of Amber, I guess, for such a team. It'll at least give me the two elements I really wanna always have. We're probably gonna need Hydro all the time when we finally get to Fontaine anyway. That's a recurring theme. You have lots of reasons to want to use Anemo. In Mondstadt, Lewa gives you plenty of reasons to hate Geo.
I'll protect us. Everyone hold hands.
Electro has
Illusion Shadow.
Lots of mountains that are difficult to traverse unless you have Electro. And then Dendro, I mean, let's just face it, Dendro is kind of necessary for everything you gotta do in Sumeru. If you wanna do anything in Sumeru, you need to bring Dendro. And another element that can, at least one element that can impact with Dendro. Interface, there we go, that's the word I was looking for.
I see everything. Let the show begin. Everyone hold hands.
Escape! All the world holds
is but a backdrop of information. Or something. I still haven't memorized that part. I'll watch that later, actually.
Clear skies can do nothing to hide the brilliance of lightning. Divine bolts can strike even in the absence of rain. Do you see that tree? Wait, you understand?
We have seen a lot of Mario 3, right?
Yeah.
Demonstration is not.
Savvy does have a freaking guide for Hyper
Characters
Bloom.
have benefited a lot from this 3.0
Right, then I wanna
update
watch
thanks
this.
to the new Quick and Aggravate combos. Official Yae, Beidou, Kiching, and Lisa have gained quite a power boost thanks to this, encouraging people to build and play them more. But there's one character
So
that
Barbara's
I'd like to
Hydro
focus on in
application
this video,
beats
which
Shang
is
Chu
the
by a
Raiden
fuck
Shogun.
ton.
By virtue
wow.
of being Electro, she technically benefits from the Aggravate reaction
Oh, this is
as
actually
well.
the final day.
However, I think there is some consideration
Quicken
on
again.
why it doesn't buffer as much as it does her fellow Electro units. And more importantly, I also think there's actually another way to build her, the Hyper Bloom Raiden, that
Okay.
shockingly suits her in the new Dendro meta. So let's discuss how its playstyle, build,
There's
and
no
defaults
Doritos
work.
this time.
If you weren't aware, Raiden actually had an overload build style from before, but it flew under the radar of many players since it's really such a niche way to use her. And the spotlight was very focused on the Raiden national team, and understandably so, since it is a very strong team. But this is a different Raiden from the one you probably know. While the conventional build focused on ER, attack, and crit, she's sporting a full EM build in her overload team which aims to consistently trigger large overload reaction damage. Casting her skill lets her do coordinated electro attacks to enemies whenever you deal damage to them. In this case, Raiden becomes focused with applying Electro off-field and triggering
A
those
shit ton of
overloads.
enemies
And
all
when
around.
you use her burst, you're also proccing more overloads.
Let me bring
Here's
the
an example of an
strongest
overload
Hyper
Raiden
Bloom
team
Raiden
featuring
team I can
Kazuha,
come up
Bennett,
with.
and Chun-Li.
And I wanna try it in the Abyss. I might be better off with...
Fortunately, if we apply this interaction to Bloom, then we see the same mechanics utilized too. It seems strange at first glance, but there are a few things going for Raiden that makes this playstyle work very well. Raiden's skill is a coordinated attack that triggers after the damage that procs it, which means it will almost always be the trigger
And
element
for
rather
here we
than the
will go
aura.
for
As such, it doesn't
Wiccan.
interrupt as much with your Bloom reactions to generate Dendro cores. This skill also deals AoE damage,
And,
which actually makes it
who
very
else are
good
we
for
using
triggering hyper
but
beams around the enemy where the cores
the one,
regenerate.
the only.
It has a very long duration, which means you
Not
only need to
Ito.
refresh it once per rotation at most. It's quite similar to why Kuki's skill is good for Hyper Bloom. It deals AoE damage and has standard ICD. Its ICD plays into your favor when triggering Dendro cores, since they're all separate entities that need only one instance of Electro application, and they don't disrupt other reactions on enemies as much. But with Raiden's skill, it procs even at a range as long as you deal damage, whereas Kuki requires you to stay in somewhat close range. As a cherry on top, her skill still gives that damage bonus to teammates' bursts, so if anyone on the team relies on burst damage, they'll still benefit from the buff. It's a unique and weird concept, but this playstyle can be very easy to build and surprisingly great despite not using Raiden's kit to its fullest potential. It's very simple to play, as all you need to do is literally press and refresh her skill and she'll do her job from off field. This removes a lot of rotation worries. Also, you don't really need to use her burst, perhaps only when you are short on
Dendro
energy,
damage.
but even just building enough
EM.
ER on your teammates will not
Normal
necessitate her burst having to eat up field time. Her skill's off-field Electro application is all she needs. The build is extremely
Alright,
simple.
so these all
too.
kinda suck.
Level
They
her to
definitely
90
want
to
us
get
to
the
use
highest
Alhaitham here.
transformative reaction damage. Stack as much
I don't
EM
normally
on her
attack
as
that
you
much
can.
with
Triple
Kaching,
EM main stats,
so
then EM
I guess
substats
just
on the
EM
Wither
for
flower. In this
full
case, she
EM
doesn't
for
need
both
ER, attack, or crit stat. The best fit
harmonics.
combo would be the new 4-piece Gilded Dreams for maximum EM. But even then, just using 2-piece combos, or even none at all, will still be good. Just throw in whatever EM pieces you have on her, really. Throw in a Dragon's Mane there too, preferably if you have it. Its refinement doesn't matter. To get an idea of the damage, here's an example of Raiden with
I just
almost
don't like
1200
putting
EM doing damage to
Nahida
their
off field.
Registine. An
She's
opponent
so
can
brittle.
take 2 instances of Hyper Bloom damage every
I'll have
0.5
Tighnari soon
seconds.
enough.
This Raiden does 33k per tick, which is 66k total. Now that's a
It's
lot
a lot of
damage.
fun, but
it's easy
sadly
to
not
overlook given
practical.
how it's not a big flashy crit number, but if you add this up over time, it will definitely now let's
Share my
showcase
knowledge.
different ways to perform a Hyper Bloom
Who
crit.
is one?
First, you'll
Barbados,
want to
guide us.
and out of our current 3 choices,
Speed of light. Hey, nowhere to hide.
So this is what's going
Reveal
on, huh?
thyself.
Hydro plus a flex. Here are some specific helps I tested out.
Shadow
First, we
Raven,
have
Love
Raiden,
Knight
Dendro
Fall.
MC, Rado,
Don't blink.
and Ayato. This is called
Cut to the chase.
Driver and Hydro unit. He's able to create blooms with his burst, but you can also use Form to
Who is Blend?
to extend his speed, especially to make the most of Vado's contribution. Vado, on the other hand, won't be stealing Hyper Blooms with her chain lightning.
You know what?
since
Two
it
can
has no
play at
splash
that
damage.
game.
If you need stronger single target damage, you can replace Vado as Fischl, but note that she may steal some Hyper Blooms.
You will never force me to use Alhaitham. You know what I think about your Alhaitham? Me
Next
too.
is
I would like
Raiden
to know
PMC
because I have no
Zhongli.
opinion
This
whatsoever.
comp uses Zhongli as the 4th slot and driver. Zhongli actually makes a great driver for such comps, as he has his resistant shredding shield to protect himself and increase damage output. Xingqiu as a Hydra unit comes with some survival utility from his orbitals too. check out Zajev's video for more on Xingqiu here. But again, the core is simply Raiden and DMC plus a Hydro unit and a Force Flex slot. In considering Hydro units, with enough skill, you can get by with Xingqiu's survival utility as your only defensive unit.
This one's
But
pretty
if you
good.
need lots of healing, there's Kokomi or even Barbara. You can play Kokomi as either a turret or driver, and she does well. Barbara, though, will need to be played in close range.
Okay, I don't think I have much of a choice.
Inactivity serves no.
And then for the last slot, you can choose a cryo unit, which turns this into a Fridge Hyper Bloom team, also a fun comp. One thing I tried was using Ayaka as a driver, used
Let's
on
try
the
out our
guys,
luck.
which pairs well with Xingqiu or Kokomi. She may just need more generous ER as the only cryo unit in this
Gilded
team.
Dreams is what I keep going for,
Kaina or
but like,
Rosaria are
I think
great
2 Gilded,
alternatives
2
too.
Wanderers is just way better. Cause like, if you're gonna bring character, if you're not gonna go for a rainbow comp, you're gonna get a useless attack buff. And like a rainbow comp will have diminishing returns anyway. For the 150 extra EM this gives,
Or you
you're
could go
losing
with
out
a
on
PP
like
animal
30
unit
EM,
where
but
there's swirl
you're
damage, crowd
missing out
control,
on
and resistance
like
shred.
9 million
So
damage.
yes, EM Raiden is a more
By
niche
bothering.
choice. But what about Raiden aggravate teams? Units that can quickly apply Electro get the most advantage out of this. Fischl is one such example due to her high single target damage and hit features that let her aggravate a lot in a shorter amount of time. Another example is Yae. Although she doesn't apply single target damage Electro as fast as Fischl, she still does consistent off-field damage.
I'll take good care of everyone.
EM scaling built into her kit. This
Wait,
makes
what the hell is
EM on
this
Yae
team?
gain much more value now with Dendro teams. However, if we look at Raiden's kit, there are some limitations and alternatives that make Aggravate less effective on her. For one, Raiden's kit is not built to apply Electro as fast. She has standard ICD on her skill and burst state, and when she's using her burst,
We
she
can
only
do
assumes
this.
about 8 seconds of field time to do her thing. Though her skill does coordinated attacks for 100% off-field uptime, again, the ICD limits the proc rate of Aggravates. Another consideration is that Raiden's kit doesn't naturally incorporate EM, whether in her desired multipliers like Yae, or even in a popular weapon choice like Fischl with Stringless. Juggling EM along with Raiden's ER demands and offensive substats like attack and crit can be difficult. Of course, EM could come in through external buffs, so gauging the full DPS potential of such teams will require more testing and calculations. Another major concern is the team comp it would require to create an Aggravate Raiden team. Raiden already has a number of comps where she shines brightly. There's the Raiden National Team, Hyper Carry Raiden, Raiden Hellfire, and Raiden Fischl, among others. And these are teams that are already extremely solid in their team synergy, so they offer little to no use for changing characters. So, in summary, if you're looking to maximize Raiden's burst, her classic teams must do a better job than Aggravate teams do. Now, that's not to say her Aggravate teams are not serviceable. In fact, I tried them myself and found them not too bad. If it's preferable for you to run those teams, such as if you're lacking certain specific units for her usual top teams, you can definitely work with those comps. But all in all, I'm shocked just how great a Hyper Bloom Raiden can be. It's definitely an unconventional way to play her, but sometimes you just have to love these kinds of builds. Let me know in the comments if you tried this Raiden build or maybe want to now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget.
So, we have seen a lot of Mario 3, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, they have Mario 3 Special?
What?
It looks like I've played it already, so, wait, what Mario 3 Special? Wait.
Does it start here? Is this like a boss rush?
This is where it starts?
Okay. Oh wait, I'm gonna reply to Diaz.
Cool. Mine's a command.
Let me just roll with this.
Wait, back to
Higher,
Mario 3.
higher, hands on fire!
Is chat on the screen right now? Just so we know. Ask Colin to put chat on the screen if he wants. So,
My guiding star!
after last episode, I
Quietly now.
tried to turn the recording on for OBS because normally we don't have a. But I misclicked and clicked start stream. And Lil Bro streamed from our recording set when he was in town recently. So, we accidentally went live. We are currently live on twitch.tv/.colin. Yeah. And
Alright.
I'll be honest,
Nice.
I think the most
Super
disappointing
lucky.
part of the chat right now is no one's gifted
HP and energy recharge, defense flat kinda sucks.
Actually, from
Should I go
Alpha
for
Plus
one more?
To Deluxe to Gold, this is the first live recorded episode ever. Yeah, this is the
Fuck
first
it,
time
we're
we've got a
done.
studio audience. And okay, is that more high pitched or am I just insane? I was thinking the same thing. That's a special game if I've ever seen it. Yeah, okay, I want to know what the special version of this game is, but obviously it is different than Mario 3. Yeah. So if anyone tries to tell us that we are replaying a game and breaking a rule, zoom over to the right side of the screen. Do you see that special tag right there? I see it loud and clear. And you know what? It looks like a different game to me. This is nothing at all like
Chat.
Mario 3.
I mean, this is lagging a lot more than Mario 3 normally.
Oh yeah, we can actually say chat now and not be talking in the comment section like derogatory.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to look at chat real quick.
Yeah, this is a special version. What's the special thing about this version?
Yeah, chat. Does anyone know?
I mean, like, unless there's like a surprise.
I mean, we did start with 35 lives on World 8, so obviously things are special.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. Is everything like slightly faster, or is it Oko later?
But we agree this counts as a different game than
This is a different game, different game.
Yeah, we all agree.
And it was a different selection on the NES for the like Nintendo Switch Online stuff.
Oops, we're gonna redo that one.
We're gonna redo it. Yeah, that's fair. Like, oh, nice. Does that count as a start for this as well? Okay, we're saving time there. We're saving time there.
Whoa.
What? So this is cheater version.
Yeah, this is.
Wait, can we go to the frog suit? I just like the frog.
Yeah, I'll go to Frog Suit next.
Like, I don't know if the frog suit's even easier to use. Actually, I don't know if I've ever seen the frog suit used in like a speedrun.
Because you don't use it in speedrun.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was gonna say also because I don't watch the speedruns for this game.
Maybe in like 100, or 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything about the frog suit in the 100% video that somebody saw did.
I mean, he only showcased like the tricks though.
Okay, so there's no frog suit tricks at the very least, though.
Yeah.
God, have you tried to learn any of those? Like, whenever you did learn the game, like,
All
casually?
like the big tricks that they had.
Yeah, I guess you don't have to do like
Yeah, because I mean, you've seen the run. Like none of those
Weird.
100% tricks that somebody
I
saw
think that's for like
highlighted
DPS
are,
GT or something.
in whatchamacallit, my runs.
I
Because
have
stay
it locked
80%.
for a
What the
reason,
fuck? Oh, I got
probably,
sniped
so
from the
I...
heavens.
Yeah, they're kind of bastards here. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude.
I just jumped up and one caught me off screen.
That I swear to God, that ball is shooting faster, but I could just be high. I don't know.
No, we're going. Oh, oops.
This one for sure, though. This one for sure.
Yeah, okay, that was so close.
You can go in the water, by the way.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Like that's not
Huh.
like death.
It feels
Oh,
like
no,
it should
that's
be.
right.
Yeah, it looks like it should be, but you know, it's for some reason this airship level at the very end of the game has floor, as opposed to all the other ones before where it's like you fall and you just die. See, I guess my next question is, if this is a special version, did this come out with like?
What the hell? I have so many
Yeah,
Did this come out
PR.
on the NES
Chat,
type
do
thing,
we
or
have
is
a
this?
question? Or do we have an answer to what is special about special?
Yeah, I know. Also, my phone
I'll
keeps
get rid of
locking every
this.
2 seconds.
This
So
one.
Yeah, same. Like I keep trying
It's
to read
pretty
chat.
it's a different game. That's what I'm saying.
Like I know it's a different game. Why would we be playing it right now if it wasn't?
The channel would literally be killed right now.
Yeah, could you imagine if we played Mario 3 more than once?
Aw, dude, the week of Mario 3 would definitely just kill the channel. But we would never do that. We would never become the Mario 3 podcast.
Alright, I'm Frog Mario, by the way.
1.2 times speed is what a random person on the internet says. I don't believe them, but I'm down to just
it
believe
did
them.
sound higher pitch. Yo! We
Hey,
gotta run.
Okay, wait, was that just a genuine no hands? Actually,
With no hands.
wait, that's sick. Actually,
That's pretty special.
that is pretty special. Okay, yeah,
Yo,
maybe
Frog
it is.
Suit's kind of a beast here.
Maybe it is like slightly faster. Dude, I love the frog suit.
Yo, my jump's insane.
You know what makes me sad?
What?
My
That
favorite.
frogs die.
No, that's fine. That's just life.
Disagreed.
But okay, you know, it's a matter of perspective. But my favorite Mario power-up has been in one game.
What is it?
Take one guess what my favorite Mario power-up is.
The Koopa Shell Power.
Yep. That one is so fucking sick, dude. Has nothing like
What game was it in?
Mario Bros for the Wii, or no, for the DS, for the DS. Super Mario Bros DS, you get like the blue shell. It was so much because you could get so much speed with it so quickly. Like you just got to skate across the levels, and like it was just a good time. You can play the online multiplayer for that as well. For Mario Bros DS.
I didn't know there was online multiplayer.
So there wasn't natively,
What the
however,
hell, man?
just because have you ever played the multiplayer for that game?
Artifacts, am I
so
right?
multiplayer, loved that multiplayer growing up. So did some nerds that know how to program shit, so they like made it online.
That's awesome.
It's like a Slippy type thing where like it shouldn't technically work, but
Break out the shell. Don't care.
different.
Alright,
That
that's good.
Bill, 30,000 sticks. I tried to time him out. I can't.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got a sword. Guys, you're live. No shit.
Oh wait.
Alright,
sorry,
917, that's good.
Colin. Hello?
Alright, we're ready.
Yeah, we didn't mean to. But
The lengths I'm willing to go to just to spite holdovers. Futilely, might I add.
No, okay, so like I tried to stop recording and then I accidentally fat fingered to click start stream and I was like, normally I don't have a stream key in here. Why did it work? And then I remembered it was your stream.
Alright, well, farm me some subs, have fun.
Yeah, don't worry.
Colin, why haven't you tweet out that you're live?
Alright.
Yeah,
Don't you know the shit
tweet out that
works?
you're live. Tweet out from the gold Twitter.
Yeah, I will.
We'll stay live for the rest of the day. We'll get to farm you some subs.
Yeah, give me a bunch of subs. Alright, see ya.
Alright, bye.
Dude, that utter panic
Yeah,
in his voice.
genuine.
You guys are live. You guys are live. It's like mom walked in.
Yeah, like what does he think we're gonna say on recording that we would say on his stream?
Like, I know we haven't met out a lot of shit, but it's never anything bad. It's just like dead air. Now we just, I'll be honest. It'll probably still be dead air between recordings a little bit, but like that's fine. Oh, nice. Why is this underground music right now? Also,
I don't know.
like,
Oh. You have to time your jump there.
yeah, that makes sense. So, also, Chad, we've been doing some damage list runs. Yo, we finally got one sub that like just a shoe in a bucket. Do we have to thank subs right now? Like, should I be in streamer mode or deluxe mode?
I don't know. I think both are funny. If I can be completely
Yeah,
honest.
like I think we go into. I think we just go ahead and like solidify this.
Can I? Wait, can I?
I
Is this
don't know
tomorrow's
who
gold
to
episode?
use.
No, this is like episode 5 of this recording
I don't
session.
think I
at this
can
point.
go under. I don't think I can duck and run while
can.
frog.
Oh, frog.
Yeah.
Actually, probably not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
What
It's
does
fine.
Yao Yao have right
we
now?
have like 20 frog seeds. I don't think we need to sweat it. Oh, huge jump! Nice.
Alright. Sure,
Honestly,
let's go.
impressive
go,
you
Yao
got
Yao.
one there. Like you like dodged the top one somehow.
The healing team
Oh,
does
I
not
do
need
hate the
healing,
screen
but
tear.
we shall
Yeah,
give
on
it
the
more
right.
healing
Yeah,
anyway.
bad. Not my favorite Mario 3.
Yeah, I noticed that whenever we played Mario 3 the second time,
Mm-hmm.
I just chose not to complain there.
Yo, a hype train is close.
Dude, no way we have a hype train.
Yo, shout
No way
out.
we don't, but
I
we
think
almost
Colin
do.
tweeted out from the Alpharet Gold Twitter that we are live, which, get your bag, little bro. So,
Yeah, get it
we
on
are
ground.
recording this for Alpharet Gold. Colin streamed here. I have to say it again because so many new viewers are joining.
I say we don't say it again until after this episode now, because for the people that are watching from like the YouTube side of things, though, then we've talked about this like 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, everyone else, if you're in chat, just explain to the people, alright? Or like,
hit his jump.
Fuck. That's a hard jump, man. It's a hard jump. Oh, wait, you got this time. You got this time. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can.
I see everything. It's yourself at home.
Yeah, very good.
Please, let me see. You play. Yeah? Lightning purified. Decided by destiny.
It's fine. You get
Delved into destiny.
you know.
Share the knowledge.
There's not many people out there, like speedrunning this specific
Out of my way.
Watching Colin stream.
Stay put. Ready? Go! of Fate.
This is the
This way, prelude. The Temple of Wisdom. Stand with me. Don't be scared. Let me scry. Share my knowledge.
the last level for this. Like, this part, like, what's the
Shadows of Fate. Our bond is strong. I'll settle this. You, Blade. You're up. Written in the stars.
Yeah, true. You're gonna do all the levels, actually, because the castle, once you get to the,
The Temple of Wisdom. Everyone hold
just
hands.
collapses instantly.
Delve into destiny. Dissipate.
Nice. Good job.
Lightning, purify. Fate is upon you. Stay put. Don't get him, you Grace. I see everything.
How is that?
Shadows of Fate.
How did you not get hit?
Stand with me. Written in the stars.
Damageless one, baby.
Everyone hold hands.
So far, I've been damaged.
Make yourselves at home.
Yeah. Nice.
Out of my way.
Like this.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out another route. I think
Don't be scared. Ready, go. Fate is upon you. I see everything.
Just take the,
Share my knowledge.
So damage, let's get this attack cool.
Stand with me.
it's like
Lightning, purify. You, Blade. You're up. Delve into destiny. Everyone hold hands.
my favorite was JV4, and then you had like 5% on you, and someone said, no, you had damage on you, it's not a JV4. And you
Illusion shadow. Frame forth. Propagate. Let's dance. Enhanced animal module 75. Now you shall perish.
You're actually like, boss. Yeah, but like if you do anything in and out, 5 or 6, it's cheap.
Scatter.
Like, I don't think that I would
Animal test 60 away. Germinate.
L1 and L
Will protect us.
God, like thanks for giving 5 chat. Just think of it this way, Chad. If you were to give this up right now, you could be solidified.
There is no escape.
Wrestle history.
Scatter.
first live episode we've ever done.
So, and honestly, the hypest part is we'll probably finish up this up too. So you need to get runs. It's kind of like opening cases in Counter-Strike, but
Absorption test.
Rise the storm!
instantly 5 dollars as well, so.
Let the show begin.
Where do you think you're going?
Propagate.
It's a fun time.
Animal test 63 away. Don't break my glasses.
The game really is such a tangy game.
Animal hyperstasis and scatter.
Shine down!
I gotta wonder, is that how the average viewer feels on a daily basis? If so, why the fuck do you
Propagate.
watch streams?
Absorption test.
I'm sorry.
Come on. We can do it.
I agree with you to an extent, but okay, and you're going into a chat and just resubscribing to somebody.
Spring forth.
Yo, I just want to say, take a cosmic picture for
Inazuma shines eternal!
Scatter. Germinate. Swirl. Mark 2. Let's dance. Animal test 6308.
Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion!
Propagate.
Insolent!
Stand clear.
Okay, that Anemo pet late summoner lady really dampened things. Well, that was wacky. That ends that. It's still on Wednesday. Wow.